Now, Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. And through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party systems and actors to explore hope and engender positive impact in the society. On today's show in River State, Magnus Abe returns to the APC. In Bayelsa State, no apology for backing Jimmy's re-election. That's from the ex-president Jonathan. In Ondo State, former reps member declares Guba intention to state with party politics. PDP State Working Committee counters National Working Committee directives on chairman's suspension. In Benue State, PDP officials defect to the APC. And in Kogi State, APC kicks against inspection of electoral materials. And 2027 elections, Atiku will contest presidency. Daniel Walia. Our guest on the show today is none other than Mr. Bon Woke, a political analyst. We'll take a very short break, and when we come back, we will go full throttle on the stories today. Please stay tuned, it's Open Conversation.
From the line across the ocean, to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
We will condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
She said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the done thing. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
It's New Year. The beginning of every new year signals a hope, faith and desires to be met. From all of us at Morrison Communication Limited, Atlantic Television Network and Wish 99.5 FM, we pray your desires for 2024 are met and that you enjoy abundant grace all year round. Happy New Year and welcome to Excellent 2024.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
We will condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
Welcome back, it's Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. And as said earlier, we have our guest in the house, Mr. Bon Woke, veteran journalist, and he will be socio-political analyst on the show today. Good morning, Mr. Bon.
Morning, it's me, Dan Pat.
Okay, so we jump straight into the stories for today, and we start out with River State, where the governorship candidate announced his return to the All Progressive Congress from the SDP. Now, speaking to newsmen shortly after a meeting with stakeholders in Port Harcourt of Wednesday, he said he has dumped the SDP for his former party. He explained that his decision is to join other well-meaning Nigerians to support the President Bola Tinubu-led administration and to ensure that Rivers people benefit from the development at the center. He stated,
people within the same political family in the PDP. They were all within the PDP political family, within the orderly political cluster. And over time, because of their claustrophobic nature, they have dispersed. There has been this centrifugal force among them. And they have found themselves going out to different political parties over time. Right after all is now, no love is lost between him and present president now. But one thing about party politics is that when they're around the sugar, that's what they do. So right now, it appears that they're all coming back to the fold.
Here is him mentioning Nyesom Wike, who we all know that is still a member of the PDP.
Yeah.
And if that union is going to work, like you rightly said, I think they have become very, very big personalities, which is why they dispersed. Tony Okocha has to be Diego Maradona to be able to bring these men to work together as a unit. What is the... Now, if vis-a-vis the ongoing issues in the state, between the sitting state governor and his godfather, who is FCT minister, who is now listed amongst APC bigwigs this morning.
He's not yet there.
Well, but he's listed. I mean, it's...
PDP in River State, because it's a house that's almost divided against itself. The so-called PDP structure seems to be gradually going over to APC. And that, you could see the excitement of Magnus Abe when he was mentioning Wike and all that. So it's going to be a big thing. And another issue is that Magnus Abe has gubernatorial ambition.
Right.
And his coming to APC means that there's a high possibility of relaunching swear to Governor Similaye Fubara.
Especially with his track record.
Gathering clouds for 2027. That is the bane of Nigerian politics.
Interesting, but...
Their interest is always how to get control of... And a lot of people are asking questions. I hope this guy is not going to compromise our position on the ownership and our status of some of this joint wealth and the issue of Soku oil well. He should not sell us, sell our interests to Bayelsa because he wants friendship. Because the fear is that at the end of the day, let it not be that...
River State gets shortchanged.
Exactly, but I'm sure he's not going to do that.
Of course.
Similaye Fubara has always said that he's interested in the well-being and survival of River State, but in the atmosphere of peace.
Right.
That is the caveat.
Right.
They're about the peace, and he's not interested in dirty politics. If he had inherited dirty politics, that is a legacy that is hanging on his neck like an albatross. He wants to remove that legacy. That legacy that is an albatross and that is haunting his administration is what he wants to put aside.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so and I was talking about interests and supports and discussions. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has stated that he owes no apologies to anyone for supporting the re-election of Governor Doye Diri of Bayelsa State in the November 11th, 2023 off-cycle governorship poll, stating that his public endorsement of the governor aligned with the aspirations of stressed the importance of security in attracting investors and noted the governor's role in significantly reducing the activities of cult groups, especially in Yenagoa. Expressing his support, Jonathan urged Governor Diri to continue working diligently to fulfill the high expectations of the people, stressing the principle, to whom much is given, much is expected. Now, there was a courtesy call to show appreciation from the governor, and that's the basis on which the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, in the company of his wife, was speaking in the midst of some criticism of his public support for Doye Diri. But then, I mean, as former president and as a Bayelsan, by the way, does he not have a right to publicly declare support for a candidate of his choice?
And Doye Diri is a PDP person. And so, as a citizen of this, especially in the governance of Bayelsa State, and seeing a performing governor, most Bayelsans are of the opinion that Doye Diri had performed, you know, despite the odds against him. The odds of flooded environment, the ecosystem has not been very friendly. A lot of odds against him. And he has been conquering, constructing roads. I know what it is to construct roads in the creek.
Right.
And you know the challenges of the flood that devastated Bayelsa State in recent time. Despite all this, he has been striving to succeed. And most Bayelsans are saying that. So it is the testimony from the people. We're not talking about media propaganda. We're talking about real testimony. Bayelsa is just next door, and we move around. Our colleagues are journalists, and we travel. We see that the man is striving to overcome some of the odds against development in his state. And his temperance is also one good attribute. He's a gentleman. He has the kind of emotional intelligence that you'll expect of
support for Doye Diri is not misplaced, and we move on to Ondo State, where a former Reps member, House of Representatives member, Mayowa Akin Folarin, has lamented that the handlers of the state had not been utilizing the human and natural resources it is endowed with properly, and that the state needed to be reconfigured. Akin Folarin, who declared interest to contest for the forthcoming governorship elections in the state on the platform of the APC, said the state needed someone who would bridge the gap between the government and the people. Although we have so many people on the ground, my own case is different. If you look at the state of affairs in the state, you will all agree with me that Ondo State needs to be reconfigured. We need to reconfigure the developmental structure of the state because there seems to be some gaps between government and the people in recent times. I'm properly rooted in this state, so I know what it takes to govern the Ondo State. And with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some of us think that we need to come together to move this state forward. Based on my experience and antecedent, I have really navigated both the economic and political terrain of Ondo State. I know what governance is, and I know what can be done to give succor and hope to our people. People no longer have confidence in what the government is doing. We need someone to energize the system. We need someone to give assurance. We need someone to let us know that this government is our government, he said. Now that's casting aspersion on a government that is barely 2 weeks old. Of course, I'm talking in reference of the new governor of Ondo State, Ayedatiwa, who has assumed the role after the passing of the former governor Rotimi Akeredolu Ale. It's coming from.
Well, I think that if you look at him in recent time because of the health crisis that the former governor suffered, and a lot passed under the water. It revealed a lot of issues, acrimony and all that, and political naivety, I would say, or will I say in some part, and some segment of the society and all that. And power ought to have been transmitted to the deputy governor when the governor went on leave. And power actually was transmitted to him when the man went for his terminal health vacation, which ended up his life and all that. And today somebody is talking about contesting. If he's talking about contesting, it should not be hinged on the failure. There could be some good things. Let anybody who wants to contest an election. I've always